A pleasant day to one and all. I am Mariani Sabanal, a representative from Group 9, and for this video, I am going to deliver our answers with regards to the following questions. Explain the key principles and practical considerations in designing OD interventions. How you design an OD intervention. The key principles in designing OD interventions are that first, they will resolve organizational issues, and second, they will be interrelated and integrated with each other. The practical considerations in designing OD interventions are first, fit with the needs of the organization. Second, the degree to which it is based on casual knowledge of intended outcomes. Third, the extent to which it transfers change management competence to organization members. You can design an OD intervention by using the three specific dimensions. These are problems or issues, focus of attention, and mode of intervention. How do you transform an organization? Give an example. You can transform an organization by using a transformation framework, which is called enterprise development and has been used by some organizations in the Philippines. This framework focuses on structure, task, environment, and people or STEP, which will detect core issues in the organization and will find strategies for organizations in order to grow and thrive through agility and resiliency. For example, the organization detects poor performance in its workforce. That's why they restructured their personnel by placing employees in the right jobs for them. Explain the culture building process. Give an example. The culture building process is the process of creating a culture within an organization to boost employee morale. For example, an organization wants to create a company culture to motivate its employee in order to increase their work performance. How can technostructural interventions create a holistic impact in the Filipino organization? Cite an example. Filipino organizations will be able to identify actual and potential positive and negative impacts on their organization by utilizing technological structural interventions. It is because technological structural interventions enhance the effectiveness of the organization by improving its technologies and structures that they can possibly identify any positive and negative impacts on their organization. By adopting technological structural interventions, for example, an organization can identify the positive and negative effects of downsizing in their organization and workforce. What differentiates the human resource management function from HRM interventions? The human resource management function is focused on the day-to-day duties of the workforce in the organization, whereas the HRM interventions are focused on improving and developing the workforce overall performance in the organization. What are the cultural realities that must be considered when conducting the mentioned interventions in the Philippines? The cultural realities that must be considered when conducting interventions in the Philippines are differences in attitudes, beliefs, behavior, and contradiction. How can leaders affect the sustainability efforts of an organization. A leader will affect the organization simply because he or she is the leader of it. Leaders make sure that the organization will stay on their chosen path and will strive and get better with every step they take. And without a guiding force of leaders, organizations will not be able to sustain themselves for long. Right leaders have the biggest contribution to the sustainability of an organization. Leaders are the front runners for a sustainable environment in any organization. They affect the overall sustainability by articulating a clear vision, clear aspiration, setting out priorities, alignment of plans and actions, and by enabling their individuality to influence others. Their ability to engage with their subordinates and their power to inspire and motivate will lead to unity in achieving a common goal. With such commitment of a leader will drive everyone in the organization to work together. The presence of unity in an organization will encourage everyone to take part in preserving and nurturing sustainability efforts to achieve a greater heights of success. Describe the concept of the use of self in OD practice. Discuss how an understanding of this concept is critical in OD practice. The concept of the use of self in OD practice is a necessary instrument of change. Oneself contributes to a ripple effect in an organization. Self portrayed an important part in OD practice by emphasizing the values, capabilities, and experiences it possesses that will serve as a driving force in how it will shape the nature and quality of one's work. In OD practice, the term self refers to how OD practitioners act and handle different situations, as well as what attitude and characteristic they will exhibit in the appropriate situation. Understanding this concept will give a clear understanding of what kind of self is needed and how important the presence of self is in every OD practice. Since OD allows practitioners to bring their experience to the client through engagement, every OD professionals must be grounded in a mature and realistic sense of self. Without knowledge of oneself, knowledge of the client is much more different to attain or difficult to attain. OD practitioners must be able to critically evaluate themselves as they can be an agent of change for an organization's growth and development. Give an example of transactional leaders. Coaches of athletic teams are one example of transactional leadership. It is because these leaders encourage their followers to play the game in order to win by emphasizing the prize. They instill such strong sense of dedication in their followers that they are willing to take risks with their own health and safety in order to deliver the outcomes the leader demands. Give an example of transformational leader. Steve Jobs, one of the most recognizable transformational leaders in the history, is Steve Jobs. People who work under Jobs claim that he always pushed them to go beyond what he had accomplished and that he constantly pushed for more. If you were to choose, what type will you use in your own organization? Explain why. I will use transformational leadership in my own organization. It is because transformational leadership will inspire employees to do better, to push beyond the limits and required expectations.